All right, hi everyone. Welcome to your first walking video with us. You all gave me some feedback. You said this is something that you might be interested in. And so we're gonna do some walking with our dog. No, we're gonna do some indoor walking today. It's going to be 10 minutes. Soon we're gonna put 10 minutes on the clock. We're gonna get 100 squats in, and we're also going to get 1,000 steps in for today's quick walking routine. So gonna be pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you have enough space to do a few paces forward, few paces backwards. I'm gonna go ahead and just start right in the middle. We'll call this our middle point. We'll go up 5, we'll go back 5. We're also gonna sidestep a few too. Pretty soon I'm just gonna put a 10-minute timer on the clock, approximately every 100 steps. Let's try to add in a squat. It's going to be totally optional for you, but to get that step in, we'll go 1 squat, and let's just lift that leg up. 2 squats, let's lift that leg up. Get those steps in. So if you are doing the squat, if you have any kind of knee issues, go ahead, just sit back, just use a range of motion that you feel comfortable with. You don't have to go down all the way. And if you feel like just continuing to walk, by all means, go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have 10 minutes on the clock, and here we go, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not gonna join us, Scout. Going back up. I'm just gonna add 1, 2, 3 if you have the space. 1, 2, 3 if you got a watch. Have that watch going so that you get your steps in. Going forward, going backwards. If we were outside, you would be walking a lot more, wouldn't you, buddy? So we're coming up on 30 seconds of walking. Pretty soon, what we're gonna do is get those squats in. So I'm kind of just going for a T right here. Whatever you have space for, maybe it's just a few steps forward, just a few steps backwards, as long as you are being nice and consistent with it. Trying to go back to the middle, side step, side step. And let's go ahead and get our first rounds of squats in. Here we go. 1, 2, remember you can keep walking for this. 3, 4, and if you have requests, we can do this 1,000 steps, 50 curls, 1,000 steps, some tricep work, back of your arms. 8, 9, Scout, you've gotten almost no steps in, and 10. All right, let's get back to stepping. We're doing great. Here we go. Scout, how are you doing? It's gonna be a hot one out there in Boston today, so it's early now, but we gotta get you out before it gets too hot. I should actually be, I'll have to see if my watch tells me, hey, are you going for some steps? I'm also notoriously bad at counting, so we're going side step, going back to that center. If you're not on the same exact trajectory as me, that is totally fine. We're gonna come up on our next round of squats soon. And also, because I am just so good at counting, pretty sure we're about 2 minutes in. Let's go ahead and get into those squats. Here we go. Lesson learned, have a timer in front of me instead of just going by the watch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, you can keep walking. You can do these squats whenever you feel like doing it. All right, we're at, next one's gonna be a 10, so 08 and 40. You're doing great. I will hyperimpose a watch on here so that we can actually see a little bit of a countdown too. Excuse me. He, believe it or not, everyone kind of just says for Scout, they're like, does he move? When he's outside, he is an absolute madman, aren't you? Right? He's a big time puller. He likes to pull, stop, pull, stop. So in Boston, he's hard to get a jog in with, but you really love doing your running in places like Vermont where you don't have to be held back by a leash. And I know this is a walking video, so if you are watching this and you're from the clinic, one, you can be like, hey, what's his patterns like? He doesn't seem to be going in any pattern. This is probably exactly how I'm going to be dancing at the wedding. Let's get our 10 squats in. We were at a wedding a few weekends ago, and I was the best man, and my friend and his now wife, they practiced dance moves for a while, and they were pretty good. And now Ashley is definitely going to make me do a dance lesson. 9, which is not gonna be pretty, but I will do it. You are doing great. So at 15 for that next one, we're getting those steps in. Nice little way to just, hey, I wanna get some extra steps in. Maybe it's raining outside, go outside for sure. Or maybe you want to get something that's a little bit aerobically based in. Or maybe you just want to see a dog. And I tell people, make sure that you are doing your strength training too. Give me some feedback as well on this if you want a little bit more of a coordinated effort, but folks, I'm trying my best. Scout, what do you think? Probably past halfway at this point. I should get nice and close to the camera to see where we're at for time. You are doing great. Cross, cross, cross. What has Scout done lately? His thing has been hiding under the bed. I have to bribe him with treats, right? All right, let's get into our next round of squats. Here we go. 1, 2, and if you ever feel like this is maybe too much squatting, you can always, again, swap it up. Maybe you want to do, hey, I'm going to do a Romanian deadlift like this, or maybe you just want to do 5 squats instead, and then go right back to that walking. Those are all totally fine options. All right, let's get back to it, back to stepping. You are doing great. We got about 4-ish minutes left on the clock here. I should be tracking this, Scout, to see if I'm getting exactly an extra 1,000 steps. Right? Well, 10 minutes is about that. We gotta go for a walk later anyways, don't we? We're definitely gonna get like 2,000 steps later. And so if you are like monitoring your steps, like how many steps should I actually be getting throughout the day? Now, I think that step count's like a really, really good proxy for, am I sedentary or am I moving? So when it comes to, hey, what should we be getting? A lot of people ask me that, and I was like, okay, like, so for what? And so if you're on our program, you'll see something like, hey, try to get at least 6,000 steps. Well, that's a good indicator that you're not sedentary, so you're not sitting too much. Going up is gonna be good. Let's get those 10 squats in, here we go. But I put down 6,000 because that's when research says you start to see a reduction in all-cause mortality, so that's great. A lot of people say, hey, like, what's the deal with 10,000 steps? Well, 10,000 steps is great to achieve. It's okay if you're not there all the time. But interestingly enough, there was one paper where 10,000 steps, let's get back to our steps, was actually like 9,800, was associated with maximum risk reduction for things like dementia, I think specifically vascular dementia. And then when you look at things like hypertension risk reduction, diabetes risk reduction, that seems to be more along the lines of 8,000, 9,000 steps is maximum risk reduction. That being said, some papers have also shown diabetes risk reduction is linear for every 1,000 step increase. So every time that you're getting some extra steps in, kind of like this 1,000 right here, we're cutting down on risk. And then just for like weight control too, there's a registry that is out of Brown University in Rhode Island. It's called the National Weight Control Registry. And they look at the habits of people that have lost weight and maintain that weight that they've lost. And they're getting about 28 miles of walking in per week. Sounds like a lot, right? 28 miles, there's about 2,500 steps in a mile. And so that's 4 miles, that's about 10 10,000 steps. Here we go, let's get our squats in. So if we've lost weight and we want to keep it off, maybe that is a good goal for us to reach for, getting that 10,000 steps in. But wherever you're at, just breaking up those periods of being sedentary is going to be really beneficial. I'm starting to get a little sweat, but it is also hot down here. We're doing great. We are probably coming up on a close. I'm gonna get close to see where we're at. Yeah, we're definitely coming to a close. If I make you go a little bit over, sorry about that, but also not sorry. You are doing great so far. And if you have requests for this, let me know in the comments. Reach out to your care team. I hope you have enough space for this. If that's something where I'm like, hey, maybe we gotta operate in a little bit less space, you know, you can modify that. Maybe it's 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, back up, 1, 2. Maybe we're only going 1, 2, and then going 1, 2, 3, 4. You really should do some kind of movement, Scout. 2, 3, and then let's go back. And I'm gonna put 100, I'm gonna say 100 squats in this caption. I'm not sure if we got there, but let's finish up with these last ones. Here we go. 1, get that step. 2, you get a little balance work too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, great job. Again, give me some feedback for if you want some more just like this, and hope to see you for some more strength training workouts, maybe some more walking workouts. Hey, see, he exists. And so until then, bye. Wow, good wave. All right, see you soon.